Welcome back to my channel Knowledge Chronicle.
Have you ever gazed at the night sky and wondered, where did we come from? Not just you or me, but the first ever life on Earth. Was it an alien gift, a cosmic accident, or a masterpiece of chemistry? Today on Knowledge Chronicle, very deep, into the real story of how life began. From the birth of the universe to the bubbling chemical cauldron of early Earth and the very first living cell. This isn't just science, this is the greatest mystery ever told. Let's unlock the true origin of life, right now. Before we understand life, we need to zoom out, way out. Our universe? It's almost 13.8 billion years old, and it all began with the Big Bang, a massive explosion of a single, infinitely dense point. From that explosion came space, time, energy, and eventually, matter. This matter cooled and clumped together due to gravity, forming clouds of gas which became galaxies full of stars. Now our galaxy, the Milky Way, is just one of billions. And within it, about 4.5 billion years ago, a dusty disk gave birth to a new solar system. And from this swirling chaos, our Earth was born. Early Earth wasn't the blue and green paradise we know today. It was a fiery molten mass, constantly bombarded by asteroids and comets. There was no oxygen, no oceans, no atmosphere as we know it. Instead, gases like methane, ammonia, water vapor, and carbon dioxide dominated. Volcanoes raged, lightning cracked across the sky, and temperatures soared. Then, something incredible happened. The Earth began to cool. Water vapor condensed and fell as rain, filling depressions and forming oceans. These oceans became the cradle, the primordial soup, where life would eventually begin. But the question remained, how? Over time, humans have offered many theories. Panspermia suggests life came from outer space, maybe via comets carrying spores or microbes. Even today, some scientists believe that meteorites could have seeded Earth with life's building blocks. Then there was the idea of spontaneous generation, that life could simply arise from non-living things like mud or rotting meat. Sounds strange? Even great minds once believed it, until a man named Louis Pasteur put it to the test. Using sterilized flasks, Pasteur proved that life only arises from pre-existing life. No magic, no mystery organisms from decaying matter. But then, what about the first life ever? That's where chemical evolution comes in. In the 1920s, two brilliant scientists, Alexander Oparin from Russia and J.B.S. Haldane from England, proposed a bold idea. They said, what if the first life came from non-living organic molecules? Here's how. Early Earth had the perfect ingredients: high temperatures, lightning, volcanic gases, and a reducing atmosphere rich in methane, ammonia, hydrogen, and water vapor. Under these conditions, simple inorganic compounds could form complex organic molecules like amino acids and nucleotides. And then came the legendary Miller-Urey experiment. In 1953, American scientist Stanley Miller, guided by Harold Urey, simulated early Earth conditions in a lab. They used a closed flask filled with water vapor, methane, ammonia, and hydrogen, and added electric sparks to mimic lightning. The result? Within days, they found amino acids, the building blocks of proteins. Later experiments even formed sugars, nitrogen bases, pigments, and fats. This was the first experimental proof that chemical evolution could lead to the ingredients of life. Even meteorites have been found to carry similar organic molecules, which suggests that this process may not be unique to Earth. So how did molecules become life? Some scientists believe that the first proto-life was a kind of metabolic capsule, large self-replicating molecules like RNA or proteins enclosed in lipid membranes. These were non-cellular life forms, floating in the ocean around 3 billion years ago. Eventually, these evolved into the first cells, about 2 billion years ago. These were likely single-celled organisms, like today's bacteria. And remember, all early life existed only in water. Land colonization came much later. This theory, called abiogenesis, says that life arose naturally from non-living matter, through chemical and then biological evolution. Once we had cells, the magic of evolution took over. Through mutation, natural selection, and adaptation, life diversified. Single cells led to colonies, then to multicellular organisms. Over millions of years, this gave rise to the incredible biodiversity we see today, from insects to humans, from fungi to flowers. This story continues in the fascinating study of evolutionary biology, the science that traces how life changes over time. And all of it began from stardust, molecules, chemistry, and one of the most powerful forces in the universe, time. If you found this journey into the origin of life fascinating, just imagine what other secrets the universe holds. So stay with us at Knowledge Chronicle as we continue to decode life's deepest mysteries. Your one like, share, and subscribe will help us create more valuable content. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop learning.